this community in your care. Help all of us to contribute to wise decisions for the general welfare and to serve you faithfully as we go about the business of this city. Be with your people where they work. Make those who carry on the industry and commerce of this community responsive to your will, and to all of us give pride in what we do in a just return for our labor. God of heaven and earth, in your word you have given us a vision of that holy city to which the nations of the world bring their glory. Look upon Amarillo and renew the ties of mutual regard that form our civic life. Help us to eliminate poverty, prejudice, and oppression, that peace may prevail with righteousness and justice with order, and that men and women from various backgrounds and with differing talents may find with one another the fulfillment of their humanity. Bless all of these who hold office in the government of Amarillo, Mayor Deborah McCart, Commissioners Madison Scott, Brian Eads, Ron Lloyd, and Jim Sims. We pray that they may do their work in a spirit of wisdom, kindness, and justice. Help them use their authority to serve faithfully and to promote the general welfare of the citizens of Amarillo. In your holy name, amen.
Please stay standing. Thank you so much. We're fortunate to have a group of Boy Scouts here with us, and I had the number of your students, and I let was it 112?
1221.
We
also have 86.
86.
Help with 86.
They have hats on.
Okay, would you all join us in the pledge of allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we're so glad you're here. Are they different age levels or same grade?
All different ages.
All different ages, different schools, I guess?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you all been working during the summer?
Oh, yes.
You do?
Very active.
I never got to participate in Boy Scouts, so I don't know. You get to work out in the summer and all those things. So we're so glad you're here. I don't know, are you working toward a badge?
The community citizenship. Yeah. What is it?
Well, I'd like to know how many are planning to go for the Eagle Scout. How many are thinking about doing it? I know they're all I guess you all know Commissioner Boyd is very big in the Boy Scouts. Do you still participate or with them a lot? Were you an Eagle Scout?
I was an Eagle, son's an Eagle, and a grandson was an Eagle.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, we'd love to hear your names. And Donnie at the camera, see what it. All the thousands of watched today are going to know your name. So let's just go down and start with your row and just say all of your names and they will know who you are.
I'm Kerry Dawson, Assistant Scoutmaster.
I'm Noah Dawson. What are you?
I'm Justin Carlisle.
Joshua Carlisle.
I'm Tyson Berryman, Scoutmaster.
Aaron Flores.
Blake Park.
Jacob Mullen. Nelson Berryman. Javier Benitez.
Addison Berryman. CJ McKnight.
And we have one in the red shirt.
I'm Jeff McKnight, committee member of Fall 21.
Okay, great. Well, we're so glad that y'all are here today. Thank you so much for coming. Did you have any questions for us? Looks like you were getting ready to ask something.
We just needed to attend the meeting so they can finish their prayer.
Well, I was just going to say, it's great for them to come and see how the city works and the community works together, because these are our future leaders. And they need to see this and participate, because 20 years from now, you're going to be the guys up here making decisions, and it's important. So, I'm glad you came, and encourage you to continue that walk with the Eagle, because it'll make this city a much better place to have leaders like you guys. So, thanks for coming, and I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please stay. And so we'll go ahead and start now with our agenda. The first item on this agenda is the minutes. Are there any comments from the audience for this condition? Okay, do I have a motion? Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That motion passes by 5 and roll vote. The next item on the agenda is notion of Notice of public hearing on proposed tax rate. This item is to discuss and consider the proposed tax rate for maintenance and operations and debt service for the proposed 2010-2011 City of Amarillo fiscal budget. So what we're trying to do today is set some sort of a tax rate today that we will be voting on in the coming weeks. And we're going to have some discussion here. We also would like some discussion from the audience on what you all are thinking. And so we hope to get some sort of rate set today. Now, we can always go below that rate, but we cannot go above the rate that we set today. So I'm not sure. I think maybe we ought to start off with the commission so that those of you that are going to speak to the tax rate might have a better indication of where we stand, each one of us, on the tax rate, and then you can speak to that. And for what we're thinking. We're all just like you. We're trying to make the best decision for Amarillo and trying to do what's best for this city, this growing city that we have in place. So this is always a tough time of year for all of us. The staff has worked very hard, very diligently, trying to put together a budget for this year. They have come with a balanced budget, and not all cities can say that. We've been very fortunate in years past, and we're still very fortunate as they continue to do miracles with numbers. We're very fortunate to have the staff that we do to put together this budget. This takes up so much of their time, probably at least 6 to 9 months of the entire year. And we'll start again as soon as we finish this budget time. So we as a commission have some options in front of us. We have 3 different options that we are looking at. And I might just kind of, Mr. Atkinson, would you just kind of briefly describe the 3 options that we're looking at, proposals?
Certainly, Mayor.
I don't know if we have do we have a slide? We don't do it on this.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
The base proposal from staff this year calls for an ad valorem tax rate of 0.31784, which would be 31.784 cents per $100 valuation. The effective tax rate for the upcoming year is 0.31186, or 31.186 cents per $100 valuation. And these are both as compared to your current rate, the 2009-2010 tax rate of 0.31009, or 31.009 cents per $100 valuation. It is a unique and fortunately a rare situation for Amarillo that your effective tax rate is higher than your current tax rate. So that comparison again would be 31.186 cents for your new effective rate versus 31.009, which is your current rate. In doing so this year, we had 3 factors that caused the effective rate to go up. One, of course, is the decline in the sales tax revenue, which is used to lower property tax. Second is we had a very, very slow growth year in terms of appraised values. And the third factor is the amount of tax revenue lost to your tax freeze, in effect, offset number 2. So taken together, that's caused your effective tax rate to go up. The effective tax rate is that rate which generates the same amount of revenue from the same properties as the prior year, and then you add in new growth to that. The difference between the base tax rate and the effective is 1.92%. Just under 2%, and the collective difference between your current tax rate and the highest tax rate that we have proposed is the difference between $317.84 on a $100,000 home versus $310.09 for a $100,000 home. So that kind of sets your 2 goalposts there, Mayor. Myself or Mr. Frigo would be pleased to answer any questions you may have.
This is always confusing. It's confusing for us to go through this effective tax rate, but in the current rate and the base proposal. I know each one of the commissioners has something they want to say or they like to say. I don't mind starting unless you all would you like to start first? I'd like to say mine for last. Yes, sir.
Okay, first, I mean this so sincerely. The work that staff has done in putting together this year's budget. It's a good budget, it's lean, mean, and yet it is a continuation of good service that Amarillo has come to appreciate, or at least hopefully appreciate, but most certainly enjoy. The city is ever so slightly growing, but because of economic times, the valuations, property valuations are down somewhat. That's what causes this weird deal in the effective tax rate. But I'm still of the opinion, as I was about this time last year, that the economy is still in a difficult situation, and people are I hesitate to use the word struggling, but they are. And times are tough. And Amarillo is blessed to have. We have been hurt the least of cities across the nation, but I think that we're there because we have tried to be conservative. We have tried to do the right things, and we continue to grow. And look at all of our industries we have; they're all in relatively good shape. And by that I'm talking about what's going on fiberglass is really on the upswing now. The work that's being done at Pandex is growing. Our medical complex, which is a huge contributor to our local economy, is still expanding. So Amarillo is truly blessed. But because of economic times, I'm going to support the tax rate staying exactly where it is this year. In other words, that's 0.31009, which is the same tax rate that you pay for this year, for 09. Simply because we can play games with effective rates, I say play games, it can sometimes be confusing, as the mayor said, as to what does the effective tax rate mean. But there's no question whenever I say to someone, your tax rate is going to stay exactly the same. So if your appraisal did not go up or go down, whatever the dollar amount, the penny that you paid last year in taxes is what you pay next year. And that's why I'm going to support no increase in the tax rate. Thank you.
Now, you made a statement that some of them go up because of the tax rate. Some people's property values did go up, and so their taxes are going to be a little higher. So don't everybody think that your tax rates are going to stay the same or maybe go down because the values went down, because some people's values did go up. But, I agree with Commissioner Sims. I think it's important that sometimes we have to hold our spending levels down. I know a lot of people who took salary cuts last year, and I don't remember most of them getting a raise this year. As much as we need the money, and there's so many projects, and Commissioner Reed has spoken to it very well, things that need to be done, and when are we going to do them? We have to sometime sooner or later address those issues, just for the growth of the city and keeping things going, and without all of a sudden we had a project that was $300,000 if we just had the money for the overlay, and because we didn't find the money, it cost us $2.8 million and to get it fixed. And there were things like that have to be addressed in decisions that we've got to make somehow until the economy turns around. So I see, I have a feeling we got another year of this, and I'm the most optimistic person in the world, but you've got to look at the numbers. You got to see what you read here in the paper, and I see it with my people that work for me. So for the same reason, I'm holding to the current rate. I think that we're not going to lose any goods or services. People won't see anything. I think as far as city services are concerned, the staff is just doing a fabulous job of figuring out how to get some things fixed without raising your taxes. So I think we can live with this. If I had my druthers, I'd say, if we find $12 million to give to everybody to do what needs to be done, but not this year.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, this is the most difficult time of the year of all. As we watch our TVs and we look at the talking heads, we see deficits spending. But we have a deficit in infrastructure in Amarillo. There's more than one kind of deficit. And we are currently using our infrastructure on an annual basis that somebody's going to have to pay for it. And if it's not us, it's going to be our kids. And those of us who achieve 65, we're going to have our taxes frozen. But those are going to remain behind with these deficit infrastructures that are gradually declining that somebody's going to have to pay for. And I don't really want to download all those expenses to someone on down the road. So I have a problem with allowing our infrastructure to deteriorate. I think it's very important that the people of Amarillo realize that we have one of the lowest tax rates in the state and in the Southwest. And that's been a lot of responsible commissioners over many, many years who produced that and really congratulate. And city staff is to be roundly congratulated for achieving it. But they've been doing it right. But there's a price to pay. And the infrastructure issue is the price. We also have one of the lowest debt loads in the state. And that needs to be kept in mind as you hear on a daily basis that there's excessive government spending everywhere you look. Sometimes people do it right. And some of the people that have come before us on this commission have done it right. And you don't need to continue to penalize our city infrastructure and long-range plans when it's been done right for many years. We have a huge public health and safety issue in the city. Crime rates are up a little. Our police officers and detectives work harder than anyone I know of. But with an economic downturn comes an increase in crime. If you wanted to go toward ideal standards, we could utilize 80 more officers in the city. We need to pay for those officers. We owe that to the people of this city. I understand people hurting. I understand tax rates need to be low, but public health and safety is issue one, and we can't take a ride with that ball. Commissioner Boyd referred to our streets. He's absolutely right. We could use $10 to $12 million today. We saw after this long winter, with all the prolonged snow, that we have damage. And we have to be responsible. I can tell you that each one of us in this room, if your roof is leaking, you're not going to continue to let it leak till it goes down the wall, till it ultimately undermines your foundation. We have to prepare the leak in the roof before it undermines our foundation. And I'll agree that we need to be very conservative on our tax rate, but we're at the point of potentially undermining our foundation. And we've got to keep that in mind. If it was not for the excellent work of our city staff, I swear during this time, 30% of these people don't sleep at night. They're worrying about ways that they can make it work on a shoestring. And they do a fine job. And I've never been prouder of people that I've worked with professionally locally for 40 years. And so people on our city staff. And I'd like to personally express my thanks to all the departments for that. So I've talked too long. Usually it's Commissioner Simmons who waxes the philosophical. But this is something I feel very strongly about. And I'm going to focus on pushing in those directions in the near future. So, for a tax rate,
all right. My feeling last week is that I was very excited when Commissioner Sims and Commissioner Boyd both brought up the idea of keeping the tax rate the same. That's good government to me. I hate paying taxes as much as the next guy. It's a privilege. I understand it is, but at the same time, it's just a burden to everybody, too. And this economy is hurting. I think it's just good government and good sense and to help the people out there that we don't raise the taxes at all. I think that's just good business. And I've been a commissioner for 5 years now. It's been exciting every year to do the budget. We do have a great staff. No doubt about it, and very conservative. It's fun to see that we have one of the lowest debt ratios out there. That is a fun thing to do, and some cash to do some things. So I think I know where I stand. I want to help the citizens out, keep the tax rate.
Okay, and to be last. There was a saying when I ran for mayor the first time, and I just saw all my signs that said maximize momentum. And that's the way I feel about the city. We need to continue to maximize that momentum that we have going for this city and not go backwards. I feel like to keep the rate where it is today going for the next year, since we have grown, we have needs that are out there. And granted, it's not a lot of money, but in my mind, it's actually going backwards. You may not see an actual decrease in services or programs, but it's still going backwards. And even though we are cutting back, in my mind, I would like to see it go forward because our city has grown. We still continue to have needs. And going back to, it is a low amount of money, but still it's going backwards, in my opinion. We are assuming a loss of some money in this if we continue with this lower tax rate that we're going to have to make up at some point. I agree with Commissioner Eves. I think that the infrastructure is so critical. I hope Commissioner Boyd is right. 1 more year. Well, what if it's 3 more years? What if it's 5 more years? We continue to stay where we are. Our city can't be as successful as we are today by doing that. I am not advocating going up to the top level. I don't think that is right. I think we need to stay with the effective rate that we currently have, even albeit a little higher because we do have more properties on the road. But to keep us going forward, we are a strong city. And we're there because of the things that we have done. But I really truly believe that if we sit where we were last year, it's going to be tougher next year and the year after that. We need to continue to move forward in this city. We need to at least stay the course. At least stay the course. And I strongly believe that. I think that just staying where we were last year is not going to cut it. I really don't believe that. I think I can see where this is going, but I really believe it's a mistake. So, anyway, that's where I am. I think that if we're going to continue to be the progressive, successful city that we are, to keep taxes low, we cannot go backwards. We can't go backwards. That's the way I feel about this. So, you can see I get passionate about it. I guess that's why I wanted to go last. But I'm so proud of what's happening in Amarillo, and we are doing some great things. There's some wonderful things happening in this city that are going to need additional financing. And what this says to me is a negative that we're going to go backwards. We have so many things to fund, so many things we want to do for this community, and we can't do that if we continue to either stay right where we were or go backwards. And in my thoughts, we'll be going backwards because we have a larger population to service. We have more infrastructure that we have to address, and I think we continue the course, stay the course, and continue to move forward with Amarillo. So, having said that, I'd love to hear from you all and hear what you all have to say. If anyone has things they would like to say, and so Mr. Scott, you know where I stand. I'm right in the middle. Man. I think it's very important that we continue to move forward and not go backwards. Okay, would anybody else like to say, have anything to say?
I think they're scared today.
No, I'm sorry, not scared y'all.
Scared me.
Well, what we're doing today is setting a rate. And it's not, I wish it was my motion, but it's not my motion, so it's yours. Okay, all right. Do I have a motion?
Mayor, I move for the current rate at .31009 be adopted as our rate proposal for our tax rate for 2011, excuse me.
Second.
Second.
Motion is moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Yes. Okay. That passes by 3-2 vote. So, we'll hang on for another year. Thank you all so much for everybody's input. And we'll set that rate for the community. Okay, now we go move on to ordinance 7229. This is the first reading of an ordinance approving revised tariffs for the sale of natural gas in Amarillo by the Atmos Energy Company. Mr. Frigo, would you like to speak to that just a little bit?
We requested a rate increase of about $3 million. And Marcus Norris, our city attorney, and with the help of some consultants, we have worked that down to about $1.2 million increase. Keep in mind, our own consultant was saying that increase was justified. We tried to keep the residential rates as low as we could. So the revenue to the company would increase on the residential side about 6.2%. And then for the commercial, industrial, and public customer, they would all see an increase of about 10%. But that's just on the revenue side. If you look at the total gas bill, it'll all go up by less than 3%. So as an example, a regular residential customer using 6 MCF currently pays about $41.20, and under this proposal they pay $42.12. So it's really a 2.2% increase. You have to answer any other questions.
Those numbers again, 42.
Currently for 6 MCF, $41.20, and under this proposed, it'd be $42.12.
So in effect, what's happening is the rate is going up slightly, 2 point something.
Yes.
And when will that take effect?
It'll go back bill to August with your approval. It's probably on the bills right now, but they would have to take it off if you denied it.
Oh, I see. Okay. But you all have worked it down quite a bit. You all have worked hard to get it.
Yeah, we started April 1st and finished up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Good work.
Previously, before we had this set procedure in place, every time we wanted to increase a rate, we had to go to the Public Utilities Commission.
That's where they'd end up. And then, to be brutally honest, we weren't that successful at the PUC. Well, that's Railroad Commission for gas. Railroad Commission for gas. And we incurred a lot of expenses in fighting it. You could easily do $300,000-400,000 in legal costs fighting a rate case. And then again, we weren't all that successful. Here, Marcus thinks it's going to be closer to 75. I'm still holding out. I think we'll have it down in the 45 range. We'll have about $45,000 in expenses, and those get added on to the cost of the gas too. And so we're not doing anybody a favor spending
those $500,000 in fighting at the Railroad Commission, then just got rolled into the bills that came to people's homes.
Exactly. Instead of $1.2 million, it would be $1.7, and that just gets rolled into the bills. So we've tried this method, and we've certainly got the expenses down, and we think we're getting some pretty good results also.
Okay. This is another confusing item we have on our agenda. Is there anyone in the audience who would like a little more explanation about this? Because you will see it on your gas bill with that going up, and like you said, in the LCB there. So it took a lot of work to get it down this low, and I really appreciate all the hard work on it. Do we have any other questions from the Commission or anyone in the audience on this flat rate increase? If not, do I have a motion?
Mayor, I move that we approve ordinance number 7229 regarding the Atlas rate.
Second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by 5-0 vote. The next item is ordinance 7230. This is the first reading of the ordinance adopting the 2010-2011 budget and 5-year service plan, along with establishing and levying an annual property assessment of Colonies Public Independent Improvement District. The Colonies PID is located within the Colonies subdivision in southwest Amarillo. This ordinance is recommended for approval by a unanimous vote of the Colonies Public Improvement District Board of Directors. And because, Mr. Kelly, because some of us, myself included, have a hard time understanding some of these, could you just briefly tell everyone what a PID is?
You have to there. PID is an acronym that we use for a Public Improvement District. The districts are established for improvements and or services that are intended for a specific area that are over and above normal city improvements or services. An example would be one of the ordinances that we're hearing today for the Colonies. They have a clock tower, they have boulevards, those kinds of things, little pocket parks. The Public Improvement District is a mechanism used to be able to construct those types of improvements. Then by way of assessing those property owners that live within that district, we're able to assess those property owners and get revenue to pay for the maintenance and operation of those improvements.
Okay. And we're specifically addressing the Colonies PID on this one. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address this ordinance?
Mayor, can I add to what Ms. Shaw had to say? These are within an area, and those people receive an extra increment on their tax bill to pay for these improvements. It only involves those within that district. They pay for these amenities that they want, and when they buy property within that district, they're supposed to be made aware of this improvement district that they're buying.
I believe we have 6 kids, is that right? 6 kids across the city. So, hearing no other comments on ordinance 7230, do I have a motion?
Mayor, make a motion to approve ordinance number 7230.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by 5-0 vote. The next item is ordinance 7231. This is the first reading of an ordinance adopting the 2010-2011 budget and 5-year service plan, along with establishing and levying an annual property assessment for the Point West Public Improvement District, or PID. The Point West PID is located adjacent to the Amarillo Medical Center in West Amarillo. You can see that on your screen. I believe that's right to the south. Is that Amarillo Boulevard?
Just to the north of Amarillo Boulevard, Mayor.
I can barely read it. Y'all see that? I can't read it. This ordinance is recommended for approval by unanimous vote of the Point West Public Improvement District Board of Directors. So they're all agreeing to do this at their PID. Are there any comments from the audience on this particular ordinance? Or the commission? Hey, do I have a motion?
Mayor, I would move for approval of ordinance number 7231.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by 5-0 vote. The next item is ordinance 7232. This is the first reading of an ordinance adopting the 2010-11 budget and 5-year service plan, along with establishing and levying an annual property assessment for the Tutbury Public Improvement District, or PID. You can see where that is. It's in the colony. The Tutbury PID is, well, it's not in the colony. It's PID. The Tutbury PID is located within the Tutbury subdivision in southwest Amarillo. This ordinance is recommended for approval by unanimous vote of the Tutbury Public Improvement District Board of Directors. You can see that on the screen. Any comments from the audience on this particular ordinance? From the commission? Okay, do I have a motion?
Mayor, I move approval of ordinance 7232.
That's it. Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by 5-0 vote. Okay, the next item is resolution public hearing. This resolution conducts a public hearing on and orders the removal of substandard structures located in the city, and I will turn this over to City Manager Jared Atkinson.
Thank you, Mayor. We have 3 properties that are on the hearing for today. The first property is 605 East Amarillo Boulevard East. This property has been sold. The new owner has taken a permit out. The new owner has also agreed to have substantial progress made on the property within the next 60 days. Taxes are now current on that property, and with your permission, we would ask that that property be removed from this resolution and that file be closed.
Okay.
The second property that we have today is 709 North Pier Street. 2 wood frame and stucco residential structures and a wood frame accessory being currently used as a carport. This is the second time that 2 of these 3 buildings have been brought before you. They were originally condemned on September 23, 2008. However, that order was lifted due to bankruptcy court proceedings. Since that time, the other structure, the third structure, has become vacant, and the condemnation process has begun again on all 3 properties. Since 2008, there have been no improvements to the property. They have continued to deteriorate. We have structural issues with all of the buildings. They're open to the public. They're also a haven for vagrant criminals, stray animals, etc. This particular property has 3 years of delinquent taxes and has been mowed and or junk removed from the property on 3 occasions by the city since 2009.
Is there anyone that would like to speak to this property in the audience? Okay, the third property, please.
Mayor, the third property is 2507 Southwest 5th Avenue, 1 wood frame pier and beam residential structure, a makeshift lean-to, and a prefabricated metal accessory structure building in the back. Again, all 3 structures on this property are open, providing a refuge for transients, stray animals, etc. Significant accumulations of solid waste are noted both inside and outside of the buildings. Neighbors are currently occupying the properties and conducting items that would rather not be conducted there with those buckets. The property is a nuisance to the community. It presents multiple hazards for the neighbors and is an unsafe environment that should be remediated. This property also has delinquent taxes, both for the current year and the 2 prior years. And the city has been to the property not only to mow but to clean up the junk and the debris. And we are currently scheduled to go back again.
What was the picture with the people pointing?
Those are the occupants of the structure, Mayor.
Oh, they live there?
They are occupying.
Oh, okay. Is there anyone that would like to speak to this location in the audience? Guys, in Boy Scouts, we had, as a commission, we have the authority to look at homes that we believe need to be condemned or buildings that we feel that are unsafe to the community. Maybe people that are living there that might not should be living there, or animals make it very unsafe and unsanitary, or there just may be all kinds of things going on that don't need to be happening in our neighborhoods. It's a very lengthy process to get to this stage where we are today, but we do have that authority to tear down a house if we feel, or a building, if we feel it's unsafe for the neighborhood. So that's what we're doing today. Any other comments? If not, do I have a motion?
Mayor, inasmuch as these locations prove an attractive nuisance, excluding the one on 605 Amarillo Boulevard South, I would recommend that we move these structures.
I second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by 5-0 vote. So what that means, guys, is those houses will now go out for bid to be torn down. And those will be taken out of those neighborhoods. So take away some of those safety issues and health issues as well. The next item on the agenda is Ordinance 7227. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance changing the zoning of a tract of land in the vicinity of Southwest 6th Avenue and Carolina Street from Residential District 3 to Light Commercial District. You can see that on your screen. I believe it's right in the middle there. Do we have any comments from the audience on this ordinance? Okay, do I have a motion?
Mayor, make a motion to approve ordinance number 7227.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by 5-0 vote. The next item is ordinance 7228. This is the second and final reading. And again, guys, we usually have 2 readings on ordinances. We do have 2 readings on ordinances. So we read it last week and we're reading it again this week in case someone wants to make a comment. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance changing the zoning of a tract of land in the vicinity of Alexandria Avenue and Knoll Drive from Agricultural District to Residential District 2. You can see that on your screen right there. Any comments from the audience on this ordinance? Commission? Got a motion?
Mayor, I would move for approval of ordinance number 7228.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes by 5-0 vote. The next item is appointments, boards, and commissions. And appointments are needed for the following board. Downtown Urban Design Review Board. Mr. Shaw, would you just tell the folks what this board actually, what their job will be, their job description will be?
Certainly, Mayor, the individuals that you may consider today appointed to this board would be responsible for reviewing any projects within the urban design standard district boundaries that was approved a few weeks ago. If you were making changes to your property that basically were changes that were equal to the amount of 50% or more of the property's appraised value, or if it was brand new construction from the ground up, then the appearance of that building would be subject to the review of this design review board to find that it met all of the standards that were contained within the design standards that were approved a few weeks ago.
Hey guys, and you all probably know we're working on our downtown to make it really look nice, and it's a long process. It's a lot of steps we have to go through, and this is just one more of those steps to put a committee in place to address some of the building that's going to be going on downtown. So we've discussed some of these names, and we are ready, I believe, to present those names today for consideration for adoption. So, Commissioner Boyd.
Mayor, I would like to appoint Chan Davidson, Dana Williams,
Bob Radford, Howard Smith, David Horsley, Melissa Henderson, Kevin Nelson, Mason Rogers, Wes Reeves, and as an alternate, Charles Lynch, and with the understanding there would be half of them would be 2-year term, the other half would be a 3-year term, and then at their first meeting they would draw up those lots, so they would have staggered terms. Second.
Great. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes by a 5-0 vote. Okay. The next item is the consent agenda. It's recommended that the following items be approved and that the city manager be authorized to execute all documents necessary for each transaction. A is to purchase a new suburban utility vehicle for the fire department. B is award annual supply agreement for clamps. C is award Potter County Wellfield Pump Station and Ground Storage Tank Project. Just a little bit, Mr. Atkinson, this Potter County Wellfield is so important to the city of Amarillo for future growth to supply water to this community. So this is just another piece of that puzzle. Would you mind just telling the folks that we see exactly what we're voting on today?
Certainly, Mayor. As you mentioned, the Potter County Wellfields is a hugely important item to the citizens of Amarillo. It not only will account for the growth of the population and industry and commercial activities over the next many decades, it also is what's allowing Amarillo to protect itself from the continuing decline in the Lake Meredith availability of water. The item before you today is a second of probably 3 major pieces and several subsequent smaller ones that are coming to you. This is the pump station that will be constructed north of Amarillo in the well field. It will collect together the water from all of the different wells in the field, bring them to this single place, and then pump them into the soon-to-be-bid 48-inch pipeline that will bring the water to town. The project today, the bids that came in were just fantastic. We're able to recommend to you the base bid plus alternate number 1, which is a second 3 million gallon ground storage tank. We're able to recommend both of those to you today and still present an award that's $2.9 million under the initial estimate. So very, very, very favorable bids. Excellent project for Amarillo. And just as a reminder, this is the first new well field since 1957. So the city has done well and it sets us up well for the future.
So there's one more item up about dedication acceptance and the aviation clear zone easement. Are there any items anyone would like to take out for further consideration in the audience? Anyone would like to discuss more any of the items or commission? Okay, if not, do I have a motion?
Mayor, I move we accept the complete consent agenda.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes by a 5-0 vote. Well, guys, this brings us to the end of our meeting, but we always like to let citizens come before this commission to talk about any items that are not on today's agenda that pertain to city services or programs that are not on today's agenda. So we will open up the floor at this time for those comments, if anyone would like to come before the city commission.
Including the scouts.
We're so glad that y'all came today. If you need something signed, we'll be glad to sign it for you, badge or whatever. But we're glad everyone came to listen and be a part of this commission meeting, and I hope you'll be back. Let's see, it's not our last Tuesday, next week, is it? At the same time, 3 o'clock. We do have an executive session meeting today after this meeting. So thank you all so much for coming, and please come back. This meeting stands adjourned.